similar in the poker world, where and it looks like the best job in the world to some people, but then, as you said, there's always the stresses associated with different things, and there's never a perfect there's never a perfect job. And anytime your passion and your love becomes your job, it can be a bit stressful, but it's good to see.
That's really interesting that you should say that, because I left RTE about 8 or 9 years ago, and part of the reason was kind of what I was talking about there, that I was working 6 days a week, but on the other day I was kind of preparing for the following day's work, and so I felt like it was smothering me in a way, and I was missing like my parents were both in their 80s at the time. I was missing every birthday party, every family occasion, after Christmas on Stephen's Day, I was in doing a radio program for like 6 hours doing the racing and the football and that. And so I kind of felt like, fucking hell, life is whizzing by here and I'm just working all the bloody time, even though I loved it. And as I was saying, like getting to all these events and everything was brilliant, but it was kind of taking up all of my time. And so I decided to take a package and just go freelance, where I could be a bit more in control of my own time. And I briefly kind of flirted with the idea of trying to make a living playing poker. And I suddenly realized that I was Barnet and I wasn't Manchester City or Real Madrid. And so I just stuck to playing for fun. But I think what you're saying there, like from the outside, like say for me, looking at the guys who are playing the tours and in poker and making a living playing poker, I kind of think it's the dream life. You're traveling to Monaco, or you're traveling to Vegas, you're traveling to Rosbadov, wherever it might be. Not that Rosbadov might be the most glamorous place. But you get my drift. That what a way. You're surrounded by people who are all into what you're into. It just seems like a great lifestyle, and there's the players' party before the events and lots of crack in the bar, and it just seems brilliant. But then you kind of, the flip side of that coin, I suppose, is if somebody's on a downswing or having a bad year and bills still have to be paid, and there might be kids involved or whatever it might be, it's suddenly it becomes a job then, and it's not a job with a guaranteed income. So I can see why people think it's amazing, but at the same time I can also understand that for a lot of people they have to make a decision: are we going to stick with this, or do we get a proper job in a way? I think that's something that in Ireland, again, with so many characters, that if we were to do something, even a charity event with a combination of the top Irish pros and the Ken Dohertys and the celebrities who are quite good players as well, but will be very familiar to the regular audience. I think there is a possibility there of doing something that could be quite interesting, but maybe that's a chat for another day.
Might be a good opportunity to work in the plug here, just to thank our sponsors of today's podcast, PaddyPowerPoker. So they've an upcoming Irish Open Winter Series on, and what you were touching on there, the kind of playing with the pros and the kind of the celebrities. One of the events I'm most looking forward to is they've an ambassador bounty tournament on the 30th of December, €10 buy-in and extra bounty. So if you want to play with myself and Con, and if we're not enough star power for you, there'll be a few Premier League footballers and international rugby players I hear as well. So definitely check that out. And the main event is on day 1A is on New Year's Day, and day 1B is on January 2nd. It's a €100 tournament, €50,000 guaranteed. So the series starts 26th of December. Have a look at it. They're giving away over €6,000 throughout the series with a €10,000 leaderboard, and there'll be 5 Irish Open tickets given out during as well. So definitely have a look at that. We'll be doing a giveaway as well. You'll see the post underneath. We'll be doing some giveaway for tickets, so make sure share, like the podcast, all that kind of stuff. But
I'm really looking forward to that, because I think first of all, the bounty tournament, €10 is very accessible for everybody. And I mean, if somebody knocks me out and gets 100 quid, it's going to be the easiest 100 they're ever going to.
I've just I've mentioned it to a few of my friends, my non poker friends casually, and again, they all love the idea of a kind of a €10 buy-in. So literally anyone, if you've any clue about poker, you can jump in and say if you get lucky in the right hand against the right person, you're getting €100 straight up. So so look, definitely something to look forward to. And I said I'll post more details about it over the next few weeks. So definitely would encourage people to check it out. When you're kind of working in RTE or doing a lot of traveling to all these other kind of sporting events, was there any kind of gambling or any poker going on in any of these places?
Do you know something? You won't believe this, but more often than not, when we went somewhere, we didn't have time for any of that. Like if you go to, say, the Olympics, you're working 16 hours a day, and then you're traveling back to the hotel and back to the broadcasting place. So there wasn't really time. And there were a couple of very good players, like Ryle Nugent, who was the rugby commentator, but be at the Olympics as well. Ryle is a good player. And Hugh Cahill, who now presents the racing coverage on RTE. Hugh is pretty good as well. So there were, John Kenny used to play a bit as well. And so there were guys who were decent, but there was a regular game in RTE, all right. A kind of a once every 6 weeks, once every 8 weeks sort of game. And the standard was good. Like, as I say, Zach, who's made a good few bob, played in it, and a couple of the cameramen were very good. And then there were a couple of the lads who were the easy money at the table kind of thing. So we enjoyed it, but it on the trips we didn't really get a chance at all. Like those Olympic gigs, people think it's geez, you're lucky to be off in Beijing, and you are. Yeah. Because of like time zones and stuff, you can be working through the night to broadcast back here, and then you still have to be up during the day to actually cover the events when they're happening there. So the time wasn't really there for messing,